Our legal counsel has advised me that I need to make it clear this is a guided walkthrough of our free writing shareholder presentation. Following this brief introduction is going to be a disclosure statement. I encourage you to pause and read it in its entirety. And if you'd like a PDF version of this presentation, feel free to reach out and we'll send you one. I really hope you enjoy getting a good look at the company and our next steps. I'm excited to share this with you today, and it's my hope that through our innovations, our brands, and our partnerships, I'm able to demonstrate to you how we're going to build Suncliff into one of the biggest names in the industry. Suncliff is the future of Greenlink. Our flagship brand in Suncliff has been featured in social media with millions of views and has quickly become the go-to brand for innovation and customer education. And that's why we think it's the perfect time to transition to Suncliff as the public company name and replace our ticker symbol with a name that reflects that change. Greenlink's core operations are going to continue, but the face of the public company is going to be Suncliff. And that's going to increase public awareness of our brand, our public entity, as well as maximize our marketing efforts in the years to come. A big reason for this change is we're no longer limited to THC and CBD markets. Because of our innovations and our unrestricted distribution of Suncliff products, we're no longer considering ourselves a cannabis company. We are an experience company. Sleep aid, pain management, THC, CBD, and the energy supplement industries by 2024 represent a combined market of $230 billion in sales annually. And we think our products have a significant place in each of those 5 markets. Suncliff sleep products are a big part of our future. We've already partnered with major brands in sleep and bedding with global distribution in place. At the upcoming Las Vegas World Market, our partners are set to launch multiple pillows utilizing Suncliff innovations, and they're expected to hit the market in Q3. Suncliff products are being co-packaged with traditional sleep and bedding products that cross over into multiple industries. One of the only things that keeps us up at night is that the US has over 16,000 brick and mortar sleep and bedding stores that generate $14 billion in sales annually. And keep in mind, we have formulas that are being manufactured directly into some of these products, as well as co-packaged spritzers, and we have our sleep and wellness kit that can be sold at retail as a standalone item. All of the sales at brick and mortar locations often lead back to direct-to-consumer sales from Suncliff.com. So our foundation in the sleep world is about to be very, very important to the growth of our company. And this is where we get to the heart of what Suncliff is. Our terpene products are redefining the cannabis experience. Terpenes are currently the hottest topic in the industry. They impact the experience, the efficacy, and duration of products with and without THC and CBD. Terpenes also have well-studied and documented standalone benefits in the health and wellness sector. We're pioneers in this space. We have novel applications of proprietary blends that make up the foundation of Suncliff products. The use of cannabinoids and terpenes, either combined or as standalone products, allows us to expand across multiple industries in ways that no traditional cannabis company ever thought possible. We're using social media to educate, connect, and create products that have immediate market support. We launched our terpene gems, which do not have CBD or THC in them at all, through our social media channels under 4 core categories: calm, creative, energetic, and social. The market response was overwhelming, and we got comments like these. If you look at these comments, they're not saying, "Cool product, I love the packaging." People are saying things like, "This product could revolutionize insomnia treatment. These are amazing. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. Absolutely love your terpenes. They actually work." Although we were really excited about them and we expected people to appreciate them, we didn't expect that it would just continue to pour in. These are real people that bought the product and tried it for themselves, and they're giving us this kind of feedback. So as you can see, efficacy is not the issue here. It's about getting the product in front of our customers. So what we need to do is leverage the momentum we have on social media and expand aggressively. Our success requires that we define the industry standard. We're the first to market, and Suncliff is staged to become the prominent terpene product worldwide. Our priority is brand awareness and education. Our wholesale and direct-to-consumer sales are another important piece. We're actively sold worldwide, and our products offer great margins and an opportunity for distributors to access entirely new markets. Our Suncliff community, with over 200,000 views monthly on my personal and our branded accounts, which predominantly feature education-based terpene and cannabinoid content. And lastly, we've got our international sales. Suncliff terpene products can be shipped internationally, so we're primed for global distribution centers and marketing campaigns. Aggressively expanding our brand awareness comes with a price. We want to become the industry's first and only household name within 24 months. To do that, we're going to deploy $40 million over the next 2 years with a target of $112 million in annualized sales. We're going to rename Greenlink Suncliff, update our ticker symbol, and uplist to the OTCQB this summer. Our initial scaling budget is $8 million. That's going to allow us to aggressively scale Suncliff. With that comes a projected annual revenue of about $40 million in sales. In the year following, we're going to uplist to a major exchange, raise approximately $32 million capital, and deploy our full strategy over the course of the next 24 months. When we do the $8 million round, we'll be using approximately a third of it for advertising, marketing, and promotions. Quarter of it will be packaging, inventory, and supplies. Our next biggest expense is related to the public markets and our listing expenses. 14% will go to infrastructure, 10% to operating expenses, and 3% allocated to creative and trademarks, with another 3% in reserve. A quick look at our historical path to success. Greenlink was originally the name of my medical dispensaries. We were the highest rated dispensaries on Leafly. I went on to establish one of the first ordinances in the country that actively regulated and monitored our business activity, which put me and Greenlink on the map. If you've ever seen some of the national news outlets where I was featured, most of it came about around this time. Shortly after, we established Big Ridge Farms, which is a 250-acre cultivation facility in which we created the infrastructure for the state's largest cultivation licenses to come out and utilize our property. Following that, we established best practices by setting up a separate company that owned and controlled intellectual property, equipment, supplies, real estate, so we could put ourselves in a position to be a part of a merger or acquisition with a public company. 2018, we merged with WSHE, a restricted pink sheet company. They were under a Form 15, so we knew there was going to be some work to get the company reestablished. We appreciated the foundation the company had, and the leadership that was in place agreed to help us carry out this mission. Shortly after our merger, we acquired the Suncliff brand, which had been on my radar for a couple of years. It's a really high quality brand in the market with a focus on experiences. I'm going to pick up the pace here, but we established banking relationships. Very few will understand how difficult that process is, but we soft launched Suncliff and migrated it from a cannabis brand over to a lifestyle brand. We made some solid improvements out at Big Ridge, which included power, water, and overall production improvements, and put ourselves in a position so that if there was a national expansion, we would have the ability to produce enough hemp or cannabis, depending on what our need was, to fulfill our own supply needs should we be required to do so. And then in 2020, something really important for us happened. I was pulled into a meeting with a number of very influential people in the sleep and bedding world, and while they were talking about putting CBD in mattresses, our group grew sort of frustrated at the idea that this was a bit of a gimmick they were attempting to do, and I sort of lashed out and said what they should be doing is focusing on the importance of cannabinoids and terpenes and their role as it relates to fungus, bacteria, and overall impacts on sleep. Little did I know one of the most influential chemical engineers in the world was on this call. We immediately followed up the call by sending out samples and starting to explore the opportunities and possibilities, and that brought about a whole bunch of opportunities. Our products and understanding helped everybody come to the realization that we can make real products that have a direct impact to the consumer and fit within the sleep and bedding world. We took all of this excitement and went out. We raised a little bit of capital so that we could put ourselves in a position to finish cleaning up the company, submit our financials, and resume fully reporting with the OTC. Following that, we previewed new products at the world market, and the pandemic sort of took hold and a lot of this slowed down. And that brings us to where we are today. We are about to launch a national campaign for Suncliff. We're going to leverage our social media as well as our industry partnerships to cement ourselves as a national brand. In late July, our partners are going to be launching an innovative new product that has a slow release CBD built into the actual fabric itself. It'll also include our proprietary linen spray with each and every pillow sold. Following the Las Vegas market, we are going to uplist to the OTC QB and put ourselves in a position to uplist to a major exchange in the next year. As it relates to the sales projections, there's a lot of information here, but I want to point you to Q4 2023. If you take a look at the gross revenue, you'll see that we're projecting almost $110 million in annual sales. The jump from where we are today to $108 million in revenue seems like a big leap, but I want to point a few things out to you. In order for us to do over $100 million in a year, we need to sell 400,000 units a month. So that number can be reached with one sale a day across 10,000 retail stores. 10,000 retail stores represents less than 3% of our targeted locations. Given that our products can be sold in hotels and spas, bedding stores, national retail chains, 10,000 retail doors is a very small number. If each of those 10,000 stores sold one product a day, we do $100 million in revenue. For comparison, in our test test market, we're drastically outperforming this number with approximately 8 units per day being sold at each location. So to put it in perspective, the 5 overlapping markets that we touched on earlier, we need to penetrate 0.04% of that market to do $100 million in sales. If we penetrated 1% of that market, we'd do $1 billion in sales. The fact remains there's a lot of work between where we are today and where we can be, but we are the leaders in this segment right now. We have pole position, and the sooner we leverage that, the better off we're all going to be. A quick look at our advisors and investors. I always dislike these slides because it's just a bunch of names on a list, but the core of this group has sacrificed in so many ways to create this opportunity. I think it's important that we recognize them. What's missing on this sheet are the dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people that have contributed to the success of this company and are cheering us on. I cherish the opportunity to lead this group every single day and work with our partnerships in developing out what is going to be the next chapter of Suncliff's future. I truly believe that our partnerships, infrastructure, and public sector positioning before federal rescheduling could be the single greatest opportunity in our lifetime. If we manage the next 24 months strategically, we could be an industry icon in our space and reshape multiple industries that no one even thought cannabis would ever touch. If you're already a shareholder of Greenlink, I appreciate your ongoing support and the opportunity to lead your company into the next frontier.